For decades, the ICOC, ICC, and now RCW have had their origins in a simple yet powerful booklet called the First Principles Study Series, written by Kip McKean. This simple guide became the cornerstone of these movements, heralded as a divine instrument shaping their mission and growth. They preach about love, community, and spiritual growth, but behind this facade lies a system of manipulation. At the heart of this system lies the doctrine contained in the First Principles Study Series. This series of studies, written by Kip McKean, serves as a roadmap for control. It outlines a rigid belief system and demands strict obedience. This essay will expose the manipulative tactics used by all of the movements that have employed the First Principles series of studies, written by Kip McKean, and empower those who have been affected by them. This is not about attacking anyone's faith. It's about exposing a system that preys on people's desire for spiritual connection. The doctrine of these movements uses a series of First Principles studies to control the lives of its members, from their finances to their relationships. This essay will delve into the history of the movements, their leadership, and their tactics. It will explore the doctrine of exclusivity, the invasive nature of discipleship, and the aggressive recruitment strategies. Most importantly, it will provide resources and hope for those seeking to break free from the movement's control. At First Principles, doctrine didn't start as a manipulative force. It emerged from the Churches of Christ in the 1970s. Kip McKean, a charismatic leader, spearheaded this new movement. He preached a message of returning to the basics of Christianity. He emphasized discipleship and close-knit community. McKean's teachings resonated with many. People were drawn to the idea of a pure and dedicated Christian life. The movement grew rapidly, spreading from its origins in Gainesville to Boston and beyond. As the First Principles study series doctrine expanded, so did its control over its members. Leaders like Al Baird and Bob Gemple helped establish a hierarchical structure. This structure demanded obedience and loyalty to those in positions of authority. The First Principles study series implemented strategies for global domination. They adapted their teachings to different cultures and translated materials into numerous languages. This aggressive expansion resulted in a vast network of churches and members across the globe. The First Principles study series doctrine goal was clear: to establish a church in every corner of the world. One of the most insidious teachings of the First Principles series of studies is the doctrine of exclusivity. This doctrine states that in the First Principles series of studies, it is revealed to us that we are the only true church. They teach that salvation can only be found within their specific set of beliefs and practices. This exclusivity creates a dangerous us versus them mentality. Members are taught to view other Christian denominations as lost or misguided. This isolation fosters fear and dependence on the First Principles doctrine. The First Principles study series uses carefully selected scriptures to justify their claims of exclusivity. They take verses out of context, twisting their meaning to fit their agenda. This manipulation of scripture keeps members trapped in a cycle of fear and guilt. They are told that questioning the First Principles doctrine teachings is the same as questioning God. The psychological impact of this exclusivity is devastating. Members are cut off from friends and family who don't belong to the doctrine of the First Principles study series. They are made to feel that they are making a noble sacrifice by choosing the good of the members and their movement activities as revealed in the First Principles study series over their loved ones. The reality is that this isolation is a form of spiritual abuse designed to maintain control. Section 4. Living under a microscope: the invasive nature of discipleship. The First Principles Study Series doctrine places a heavy emphasis on discipleship. While the concept of spiritual guidance is not inherently harmful, the First Principles Study Series twists it into a tool for control. Members are assigned a discipler, usually someone older or in a position of authority. This discipling relationship is far from equal. Disciples are expected to confess their sins and struggles to their discipler. This confession often includes deeply personal information about their thoughts, feelings, and relationships. The discipler then uses this information to guide and direct the disciple's life. They offer advice, give instructions, and hold the disciple accountable. This level of control extends to every aspect of the disciple's life, from their finances to their dating life. The First Principles Study Series claims that this system is about accountability and spiritual growth. However, it creates an environment of fear and manipulation. Disciples are constantly being watched and judged. They are afraid to make decisions without their discipler's approval. This constant scrutiny and pressure can be emotionally and psychologically damaging. Section 5, Spiritual Predators, Aggressive Evangelism and Recruitment. The First Principles Study Series doctrine is known for its aggressive evangelism tactics. Members are pressured to constantly recruit new members. They are told that it is their duty to save souls and bring people to the truth. The First Principles doctrine uses a highly structured approach to evangelism. They have specific scripts and study materials designed to lead potential converts through a carefully crafted conversion experience. These materials often use emotional appeals, focusing on guilt, fear, and the promise of a perfect community. The First Principles Study Series specifically targets vulnerable individuals, college students, people new to a city, or those going through a difficult time. They prey on people's desire for belonging and purpose. These recruitment tactics are predatory and manipulative. People of these movements, ICC, ICOC, and RCW, are often pressured to make life-altering decisions without fully understanding the First Principles teachings or the level of control they will be subjected to. We will be back with one more chapter of many to come. To be continued.